Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to break that niche a little bit, and I'm really failing.
Well, I mean,
What I do, okay, this is my go-to. All right, so I come up with an idea of like a joke, and then I just say the joke, and then I hide behind a trick nick after it. You know what I mean? Like it's like if it bombs, it doesn't matter because here's the ace of spades. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think I figured that out yet, and I don't want to go the classic. Like I was looking at I had some. We're working for the Something Magic 4, which is a open mic night for magicians in Auckland, but it's like a well-rehearsed sort of stuff with experimental material, which you've been basically the brain behind. And I'm trying to like, I was like, oh, I want to do a mentalism act, which is sort of like the magic of mind reading. And I was looking through all my mentalism material in my books, and I was like, oh, dude, I don't know if I can do it. Like, it's just like, it's just so serious, bro. Like, it's so like pretentious. Like, that's really what it is for me. Like, it's so pretentious. Like, I don't know if I can feel good doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I looked at some comedy mentalism material, and I was like, oh, this is funny. But also it's a lot of hack stuff. Like, I had to really sift through a bunch of shit to be like, oh, I could see that being like somewhat self-aware and funny. But a lot of it is just hacky, bro.
Yeah.
Just so much just trash. Like, let's put it that way.
All right.
So, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's very like comedy magic is very like, just steal jokes, bro. It's fine. Just steal a line from some guy.
Yeah.
It's like, that really, it's like magic has always been about, as far as I can tell, about curating, right? Like, you curate information, and then you sort of process it and put it together in a way that's somehow unique. Whereas comedy has always been about like innovating and being completely unique. Like, there's a whole culture of like stealing jokes, which is completely frowned upon in comedy, right?
Yeah.
But then magicians, when they do comedy magic, they just look at it like magic. They just go, oh, I'll just take that. Oh, which hand is it in? Oh, no, sorry. Give me your hand. No, the clean one. Kill me, dude. Just end my life.
What's that? What's the other one? Where are you from? Oh, I'm sorry. And so this answer the question.
Okay.
Like, where are you from?
Romania.
I'm sorry.
Romania.
No, I'm just sorry to hear that from Romania. That's such a classic joke.
It's so bad, dude. Yeah. But it's like, the problem is that if it was just one person doing it, okay, fair. But it's like everyone does these lines.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, come up with your own shit, bro. Like, it's like, I understand card tricks are like, there's only so many physical ways you can manipulate a pack of cards.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But come up with your own shit, you know?
Yeah, it's a rampant across magic. I think magic just has this. Magicians just have this. I don't know, man. Like, we were talking about acting, right? Like, I think magic needs good quality acting, because that's what magic is. Magic is. There's a Robert Houdin, famous magician. He has this very famous quote. I don't know why it's not like people don't talk about it as much anymore. But the quote is, a magician is an actor playing the role of a magician. And I think that's a really key element of magic, which people are just sort of ignoring now. I think people just focus on the magic, but what really enhances the whole experience of that magic is the emotion that you bring into it, the acting, any kind of acting. Doesn't have to be one kind, but like comedy or drama, whatever. But I think that's a key element. And to do that, you have to be authentic. You have to be like, you have to be true to yourself. Yeah. And you can't just take lines and make them your own. It just doesn't work like that.
That drives me nuts, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one thing. Anyways, yeah, we could talk about this forever, but it's the same sort of idea of like, when you see someone that's really, really good, it's because they're being unique and they're being authentically unique. Like, it's not, you can tell that it's not like when I watch Rob Zabrecky.
Yeah. Great.
He's playing a character.
Yeah.
I mean, he started in theater, as far as I understand.
Music. He was a musician.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
and
then
also an actor, I think.
Yeah, I think he did like actual theater acting.
Yeah.
Because when I went to his lecture, and it was a little too early for me, that lecture.
Yeah.
Because I sat there and I was like, this is fucking boring.
2017,
This is boring. Yeah. This was like, I was doing magic on YouTube, but I hadn't started performing yet. And like, this was kind of partly due to my fucking social anxiety and like, it was about that was like the YouTube kind of marked the point where I dealt with my social anxiety. Like that, when I started YouTube, I still had major social anxiety issues. And like, I wouldn't perform, I wouldn't meet new people. You know what I mean? It was like this sort of, and then like through this, well, a lot of things aligned in my life where I was like, fuck this, I need to deal with this shit. And so like the magic was this kind of a symbol or like one of the mediums through which I sort of express that like exploration of like I don't really give a fuck what people think.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think it was just a lot of the people experience that in high school and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not really a unique experience of just being like afraid of looking weird.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so for me, it was like, okay, now I'm ready to perform after like 8 years of doing magic,
Wow.
you know, or whatever
8
it was.
years.
I think, I started at 12. So I would have been 7 years, 7 years ish.
Wow.
So I was just like move monkey, sit in my room, watch YouTube, do card tricks.
Yeah.
Whenever someone would ask, can I see a card trick? I was like, oh, I don't have my cards on me. There's a bulge of cards in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
yeah, it was, that was rampant throughout my high school
Damn,
stuff. Yeah. And like
interesting.
with the times I would perform, I would be like legitimately like methed out, like high afterwards. I'd be like, holy fuck, I did a trick. You know,
Yeah.
I was so like, it was such a big thing for me back then.
Damn.
Yeah. So anyways, that was sort of like right after I was like, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. And even like when I posted my first video, I remember having like low key panic attacks of being like, I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm posting, press post. And it was like, there was a lot of that battling with it.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, I'll get people like, I'll come to your house and shoot you. All right, bro. You know, like I'll get their threats and stuff. It's like, I don't like, it does nothing to me anymore. It's like, I've seen it all. I've heard it all. It's fine. You know, whatever the fuck.
Damn.
You know, so
that's a huge improvement. Dude.
huge. Yeah. But it became, I had to do that over and over and over again for me to be just like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, some comment will hit too deep and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't be reading these motherfuckers. You know, there's not for me to read. It's not like, they're for other people to read, not for me.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's besides the point. When you're starting a social media thing, you sort of have to interact with the community so that you have to expose yourself on some level.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's say, Rob Zabirki. So he had this whole lecture at this convention. So conventions for people that aren't magicians are like just nerd fests of just magicians coming together and like doing magic for each other and staying up till 3 a.m. and like people doing lectures of like, these are my tricks that you can buy. You know, and like trying to sell their tricks to you, or like trying to teach you something, but that's kind of rare, to be honest. Most lectures are just like people flogging their own material.
Yeah. It's
So
like telesales, you know, like
pretty much.
that's how this works so well. Buy it.
Yeah, and then you buy it and you never use it because it's actually trash.
Yeah.
It's very common.
It's amazing how you get influenced in the moment in those lectures and be like, yeah, this is so great.
Oh, I could use this, and then you like you find out the method, and you're like, yeah, that's never gonna work. So anyway, Rob Zabirki didn't teach anything, no magic at all. He just went on and on about creating a character, acting, and like. You know, taking your audience. I can't even remember all of it, but like taking your audience through an emotional journey and all this stuff. And I was like, this is, you know, I was just like, this is trash, dude. I love your performances, but please show me some magic. And now looking back, I'm like, God damn, I wish I paid attention. I wish I took some notes. I want to fucking call him and talk to him about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, because I realize how useful that is. And like, actually, I realized the potency of his advice. But back then I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I remember actually feeling really happy about that lecture because there was no magic in that lecture and he was going to talk about this specifically. And I think I personally got a lot out of that lecture. And I remember buying like he had a little booklet on like how to create drama in your magic. And I remember reading that booklet as well. But yeah, great point. It's so much more valuable, I find, like when a magician sort of talks more about their process and their own sort of like journey as a magician rather than just sell you tricks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only valuable for people that have taken that journey.
Yeah,
you know, and that's like if you're just some guy on the fringe, where it's like, oh yeah, I know moves.
Yeah,
and it's like you don't really understand. It's like, yeah, I'm a magician. I know moves. It's like you don't really understand like what actually goes into it.
Yeah,
and what goes into it to become good.
Yeah,
because there's that difference of like someone just performing tricks to someone that's like Matt King level kind of guy.
Yeah,
and it's like that journey is kind of everything, but no one really like. It's very rare that Ken Webb's book Showmanship or something.
Oh yeah. Henning Nelm's Magic and Showmanship.
I think so. I thought it was Ken Webb. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, but anyway,
one.
There's a bunch of books like that where it's like, okay, there's some things that it's like, okay. Talks about showmanship, talks about performance, but realistically, it's just most of magic is just like a bunch of trick books, and you know, and that's useful because you need those for references and indexing and like coming up with methods. But the method's only like a certain amount of the trick, and like people don't get that. And like I honestly started realizing that doing the same trick over and over and over again at like while working gigs. Yeah. Because I would do the same trick for the 400th time and still figuring out ways to make it better. You know, and I realized like, okay, so for example, if I like, let's say there's a trick where I get you to pick your card and you find it. Yeah. It's so much stronger, I've realized, if when you touch the card that you've selected and I know it's going to be your card, but I look at it and I go, wait, you picked the 3 of hearts. And then they go, no, it was the diamond. Oh, no, sorry, before I look at it, you picked the 3 of hearts. No, it was the diamond. Oh, really? Oh, I don't know. You take a look. I don't know. And then they look at it and it's the 3 of diamonds. Yeah. The fact that I got it wrong just makes that so much stronger because it couldn't have been me then. I clearly knew the wrong card. Yeah. So it must have been them somehow. Yeah. Right? So there's so many little details that you find and like little like hits and little like tags you can add and like little comedic points. And like you'd only get that from performing a bunch of times. Absolutely. And like the same thing a bunch of times. Yeah. And so if you've never done that, you're like, oh, what is there to it? You just do the move. Yeah. And absolutely. Yeah. It's really hard to see.
And I think that's one of the like the tough things about once you go on that journey and you realize that it's only after like so many performances where you actually get the like magic juice of that trick really sort of like flowing. That's why it makes creating new material so difficult. Yeah. Developing new stuff so hard because you know that when you're like starting a new sort of every new magic trick is like a whole journey that you're going to go on to really find that magic in that trick because you know that 5 performances won't give you that information. You need like a good solid amount of like performances to really get that feedback to realize where the magic in that trick lies. And I think that's what makes making new material specifically in magic so challenging because you have to put yourself out there constantly.
So that was the highlight. If you want to see the full episode, click down in the description or on the screen somewhere. If you want to see more highlights, they're all around you, literally all around you in the universe. And if you want to help a brother out, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, click like, or if you didn't like it, just hit the dislike, I guess. You know, it's your life, dude. I mean, it's your fucking life. What can I say?